Hello and welcome to Ticket to Life. And I am Henry, and thank you for taking some of your valuable time to be with me and for allowing me to be part of your life for the next 25 minutes. I would like to say hello to my listeners throughout the world, and I definitely thank my fellow Texans for tuning in to Ticket to Life. And for all the new listeners on Ticket to Life, this podcast is about anything and everything about life. And if you would like to share a story or request a certain topic, please feel free to reach out to Ticket to Life at gmail022 at um, hello, I forgot my email. It is ticket to life at 022 at gmail.com. I wonder how many times I have said that for me to forget what that is. But anyway, ticket to life 022 at gmail.com. And you can describe what you would like me to talk about. Some people think what I say matters, but it does matter to me. But anyway, um, this podcast, also you can send text messages, which I think is pretty cool on Apple, or I think it's most platforms. It will say send us a text, so you can send us a message, and it's anonymous. And if you want, you can send me an anonymous email too, as long as it's not nasty. But I guess if it's nasty and makes you feel good, I guess so I'll just delete it. Anyway, so uh, today we're going to be talking about stress. Some people say, "Oh, I'm not stressed," but lies. Those are all lies. I get stressed out. I try not to. Sometimes you just do. Um, so, are you stressed out right now while you're listening to me? Ugh, hope I didn't stress you out just with that beginning. Just listening to the intro and everything I just said, I am starting to get stressed out. Oh my gosh. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. This is a disclaimer. By the way, I'd like to let everyone know that these are all my opinions and my thoughts. And yes, you may agree or to disagree. I am not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor, a therapist, a life coach. I'm not a love guru. I am Henrie, Henrie, not a Y, I-E, Henrie. So after all that, you probably are stressed out. I could sometimes tell where I may stress someone out. I can see that. Why? Because I talk fast and I sometimes can't focus on one topic. and but I can't help it. That's just who I am, and I am always ready to say what is on my mind, and sometimes that is no muy bueno. Nope, not good. Not good at all. Because sometimes it comes out wrong, and I have to always be cautious. I do think before I speak now, because it's very important that I do that, because I do not want to upset anyone. But I am who I am. Because I do talk fast, and sometimes my sister has even said, "Can you slow down just a minute?" And I have no idea. I don't know why I'm in such a rush. It's not like I'm going anywhere. Well, that I know of. But what do you think stresses people out? Do you think that you stress people out? Some people think, "Oh, I'm the calmest person," but to others, you may not be. Here are some things that cause some people to stress others. And if you say there is no way that any of these characteristics describe me, well, you may not think you have any of these when I'm about to say, but when I say them, you're going to go, "Oh, I do that." But you'll know if you do, or you could be in denial. Now, for me, one is when you know a person and this person can just shrug anything off. They're um and usually they are not stressed, or they hide it. But then there's the person who's so high strung that it stresses you out just having to speak to them. And they won't be quiet for anything. And you try to avoid saying good morning for the fact that you know that you will have to hear about their life for the next 15 minutes. And those 15 minutes you are not getting back in your life. And it's always something depressing. Um, but the main things that stress some people out are the facial expressions. You're trying to explain something so serious, and they start yawning, or consistently looking around while you're trying to talk to them. Now, I am guilty of looking around for some reason. I don't know why. I'm listening, but I tend to look around. So they'll turn around like, what's she looking at? I'm looking at a wall, But I can see that that would stress someone out because they're trying to explain something. And you are trying your best not to grab them by the shoulders and saying, stop looking around, look at me. I'm talking to you. And I get that. And then there's the body language that is one that stresses some out, and that is rubbing their hands together while they are talking to you, but they're stressed out because they're nervous. Some people have a problem talking to others, which I understand. And I know I have several friends and family acquaintances that do this. Or their breathing is so hard that they're taking their last breath. They just get so hyped up when they're talking, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And they're just telling you that, they got a new car and it's blue. I don't know. Some people, they exaggerate and they get overwhelmed by some expressing. And I get that too, but some people just are so stressed and they get stressed about so many things. And this is one that I get it, and I think most of you will get it. Some people tend to they can't help it, but they smell. They have a scent of a certain body odor, and it's not that they don't use deodorant. It's just that they may start to sweat, and that stresses people out because then you're wondering, okay, well, what is upsetting this person? Why are they sweating? And I know that sounds crazy, but yes, they just get nervous, and so that triggers your stress, you to become stressed, because I've done that. I've been talking to someone and then they start stressing me out just listening to them. And of course, we all have body odors, especially when some people get it though when they're stressed out, and it doesn't help with you with taking, trying to take a deep breath at that time to, okay, don't let them stress me out. And you go, then you smell their body odor. It's crazy. I know. And then you start gagging, and I'm not trying to be mean, but this is something some people just have a certain body odor that's released when they're stressed out. And if you know what I'm talking about, some of you may, you can't say anything to them because they cannot help it. And some of you may know the nicest people, and sometimes nice people stress other people out. I know that doesn't sound like that's possible, but they do. They're just so nice. It's like, oh my gosh, they just stress me out because they're so nice. I feel like I need to be as nice as them, and I'm not. And it's crazy, but we affect people in so many different ways. We just do. And nice people can't help it, but it's driving you cray-cray, otherwise meaning extremely crazy, and other stress-related things as someone's voice. Because some people's voice is stressful. They can be high-pitched and they always talk like that, or very soft-spoken, or very rough. Because we all speak differently. We all sound differently. And sometimes it can be annoying to some. I hope that my voice is not annoying to you. But it is. And I mean, I've been... Okay, I'm 67. I've known a lot of people or met people in my life. And yes, certain things do stress me out, like chewing, but we won't go into that. But and I've heard my voice, and I'm not a fan of my voice. Like, I will do these podcasts. I will go and I will edit them. And then once I'm done, that's it. I don't hear them again. It's like an actor will say, no, I don't see my own movies. I just don't. I'm not a fan of my voice, I guess, but luckily it's not that big of a turnoff because people continue, and I thank you so much for listening. But yeah, I just, there are sometimes I will make a podcast and I think about it, and the next day before, because these are all pre-recorded a week to 2 weeks ahead of time. So I will think about it the next day and think, I just didn't like the way that's what I said. And I will come upstairs, close the room, and I will have to find that certain part, and I will go and edit it, because it is funny, because once it's done, it's done. Once I publish it, it's published. So I guess I could go in there and change. I think you can technically, but that would mean having to do a lot of work. So Anyway, I'm sure you all wanted to hear that, but I'm not a fan of my own voice. But now I do highly recommend that you don't have to watch the news. You are not required by law to watch the news. And I know some people will say, but how will I know what is going on in the world? If it's out of your control and you can't do anything about it, I will say skip it. There's so much going on in the world right now, and there's no way you don't hear a little bit about it. And like I've always told my sister, if the big one comes, the big bomb, if it happens, trust me, I'll know about it. I'm not. What happens in the world, unfortunately, in so many ways, is out of our control. And some people get really hung up with the whole world issues, and there's nothing you can do about it. And they do get stressed out by it. I know that most news stresses me out, and I know it stresses out others, and so that's why I really try to skip it. Political decisiveness and conflict in Ukraine and the Middle East, and for me, these are out of my control. So I turn to God and I pray for our country, and I pray for peace in the world. That's what I do. I pray for peace in the world. And yes, I could go protest and I could throw a fit, but I'm not going to do that. I find it for myself so much better to pray. Will I ever see peace in the world? I have no idea. I really don't. I would love to, but if I don't, I've lived this world in this life this long, and I will continue to pray because I feel as though this is what gets me through each day, because these are things that are literally out of my control. I do know that we have other things in our personal lives and that we cannot control those either. And that causes us stress, such as family, romantic relationships, work related pressures, and definitely financial difficulties. When I Googled the order, I found that the most stressful things were money, work, and poor health. Well, perhaps they didn't mean to put them in this order, because I would think that our health is the one that is most important thing, because without good health, we can't work, and without work, we can't have money, right? So make sure you make you the priority and take care of your health, because you are so important, and you probably have no idea how important you are in many people's lives. You're important in mine. I say that I may not know you, I may never meet you, I may never hear from you, but you are important to me. And I want you to know that you are important to me, so I can't even imagine how important you are to others. I like to say we all need pats on the back. And we may never hear them, feel them, see them. So make sure you pat yourself on the back. If no one else does, do it yourself. And I do wish more people would express the gratitude for things you have done or the person you are, because without you, life is different. The world would be different. If you probably don't believe that, but this world would not be the same if you weren't here. They have, with showing gratitude, they have for each other. Well, let me backtrack. If people would express gratitude they have for those who have made an impact in someone's life, people would be so much happier. I really believe that. Of course, a lot of people think I live in La La Land. Perhaps I do, but I like where I live. So now, if you are on medication for stress, ask your doctor some other ways along with your medications that can help you relieve some stress. And as I said before, taking those deep, slow breaths and actually taking a few can help with frustration and stress. You go count to 4 and then hold for 4 and exhale in 4. People, or you can do it any way you want to. You deep breath, whatever. I'd like to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just who I do. I just like to take some deep breaths and repeat, but don't get lightheaded. And don't do this if you're driving, but do it because it does help clear your mind. It's like, whew, Or try to find a focal point when you're doing this. But again, don't do it while you're driving. If you When you're breathing, just find something, even if it's just a plain white wall. I don't know. Just focus on something and take a deep breath. If you are so stressed out with a situation and with someone, just taking that deep breath, trust me, it will stop bothering you or as much. It will help. It will help you kind of clear your mind. The element of surprise, they might just have to realize they've pushed you to the limit, and I don't think they want to see that. If they see you taking a deep breath while they're talking, they're going like, "Oh, maybe I pushed a button." And maybe they'll walk off, not to stress you, hopefully. I mean, for kids, even for little kids, when people, oh, they're throwing a tantrum, let them catch their breath. Leave them alone. Let them throw that tantrum because guess what? They can get away with it because they're small children. They're toddlers, they're 2 and 3 year olds. Let them get away with that. Walk away from it because it's just going to stress you out more. Let them have their tantrum because as adults, we can't throw ourselves on the floor because then they'll lock us up in the loony bin. But let that toddler, let that young kid throw that tantrum and then let them take some deep breaths with you. After they start calming down, let's take a deep breath and just teach your child how to take a deep breath. It's going to help them. And trust me, it will help you. Now, things I do sometimes is stretching my arms straight up as though I've just completed a race and I hold my arms up, which I'm doing right now, and I take a deep breath and then I release. And that just works for me. I read it somewhere and it's all psychological for me, I'm sure, but it works. And I again try not to get stressed out. Of course, I'm a real believer of vitamin B uh, complex for myself. Just helps me kind of relax sometimes. Or magnesium. I take Calm at night. It's a gummy. No, not pot. It's a gummy magnesium, and I take it, and it helps me calm down at night and sleep well. My daughter told me about it, and they make a tea with it. You know what? I'll take a picture of it and I'll put it on my Instagram, so you'll know what it is. Of course, always ask your doctor before taking something. But again, I like to stretch, and I'll do that. It's something that works again for me. Of course, if church stresses you out, which it should, don't be pulling your arms up. No one should be getting stressed out in church, in my opinion. I love to listen to music, especially piano music. So relaxing, journaling, trying to remain calm. Just it's hard for some people to maintain that happiness through positive and find that positive thought through something that stresses you out. Now, a very healthy thing to do is work out, but man, I used to love to sweat when I would work out when I was much younger, and now not so much. I don't want to be that person who is talking and smell because I'm stressed out. So meditation, yoga, and of course, all my all-time favorite is sitting someplace and praying and just conversing with God. Praying is such a stress reliever, and having that connection with a higher power, God the Father Almighty, is absolutely amazing. Therapy, anytime, any place you can talk to God, and releasing your thoughts and asking for help and you'll see yourself through it. God will see you through tough times, and asking Him to forgive you and to help you for those that you have hurt, because you have to be able to forgive yourself for things we've done in the past. And I like to say, don't live in the past. You got to live in the now because there's no taking back what has happened. So prayer can give us hope and gratitude, and it clears our heads. Meditation can help, like I said earlier. But again, the important thing is to take care of your needs. You may not believe it. Like I said earlier, you may not believe this, but you are important to those around you. And you are important to me. And I appreciate you. I really, really do. And I mean this with all my heart. So when you feel like you are not appreciated, being a mom, a dad, a person at work, a student, a teacher, take a deep breath and look around. Someone may not have said thank you or not really thought about saying, you're pretty great. Just know that you are. Know that you are doing the best at being who you are. Now, if you have teens or even younger than teens, keep an eye on them because they too can become stressed out, even though you have provided them with the best life you think is possible by buying them anything and everything. All they want is you. Kids need their mom and dad, their grandparents, their guardians. They need them. Now, this is an interesting fact. Patients in the 1950s were placed in an insane mental asylum that had the same stress as an average high school student does nowadays. And people don't understand why kids are stressed out. Kids, I believe, face a lot more difficulties socially because of the social media. And it's a very sad thing. So watch your kids. Talk to your kids. Know their friends. Know what's going on. I know when I read that about the 1950s and the people being put in the asylum, and to think kids are stressed out now, wanting to fit in. Everybody wants to fit in, but sometimes we just don't. But there's always someone there to comfort a teen, and that should always be their parent, their guardian. Just someone. I mean, if we thought it was tough when we were growing up, I can't even imagine what it's like now. I believe kids do have to deal with a lot more because of the technology again. And again, social media can be brutal. It's easier to say something on social media and not face to face. So make sure to have a good communication with your kids. And honestly, in any of your relationship, communication is the key with those that you love and care for. And if you notice any symptoms such as fatigue, or the kids, or your husband, or your wife, or your partner, whoever, fatigue, or you just see that they're tense all the time, or headaches, chest pain, tightness, rapid heartbeat, the sweating. Some people start having stomach issues. Their appetites may change. They may not be sleeping. And it could be all stress related. And you just wonder, how can these things be stress related? But they are. Our bodies tell us. Our bodies will tell you. And you just, I'm fine. But we can get stressed out right now. Like I said, in the world, it's a little woo-hoo. So I think it's very important that we take a look at ourselves, take a look at our families, our kids, because we are all living in a different type of world right now. And we have my answer, and people may roll their eyes, but I don't really care. Is praying. Praying can get you through anything. It really can. It can help you with stress. It can help relieve you. If you're going through a divorce, because I have friends who have gone through a divorce and it's been devastating for them. But again, if you have any of these symptoms, call your doctor. Get a hold of someone that you know that can send you to a therapist and make an appointment. Our bodies tell us things, and sometimes we, again, are in denial of listening to ourselves and our bodies. I don't want to go to the doctor. Therapists don't know me. They are there to help you. These people have gone to school, just like a doctor, just like a teacher in schools, to learn about how to help others. So again, you are too important to let anything happen to you or your loved ones. Remember, chronic stress can lead to heart problems. And none of us want this. I don't. So listen to your body and take care of you, because the world wouldn't be the same without you. I know that's a lot of hard stuff to hear, at least for me. When I talk about stress, it is out there. There's a lot of people who are on anxiety meds, and that's fine as long as they're prescribed by a doctor. If they are helping you to get through the day, fine. But if you can, again, speak to your doctor about alternative things that maybe can help so that you can lower the dosage. I myself don't like putting anything in my body unless I have to. I'm horrible about taking vitamins. I have vitamins, and I have one of those, 7-day little things. I'm lucky to empty the 7-day vitamins in 2 weeks. It's because I forget. I hope I never have to get on heavy duty meds because it's not going to work out very good for me. But anyway, you just need to take care of yourself. And I hope this helps some of you. And I hope I didn't stress you out by talking, am I stressed out? Because sometimes we just do. I mean, think about the people getting on the freeway, highway, I don't know what you want to call it, going to work and how stressful that is. But guess what? You're going to get to work as long as you drive safe. Don't lose your temper. Again, in a few episodes back, I mentioned you don't know what people are going through when they're driving 90 miles an hour. Just pull off to the side. Let them go. Let them go. Why are you going to stress out about it? One of my things is I pray the rosary. I like to pray the rosary or listen to some calming. Usually I'm praying the rosary. If I'm not with my husband, but when I'm driving somewhere, I like to pray the rosary because it calms me. And, I'm faith can get you through anything, people. If you don't have faith, look into it because it's awesome. It will get you through anything in life. But anyway, that's my little Am I Stressed Out podcast. And again, if you have anything you'd like to share, please feel free to send me a email at tickettolife022@gmail.com. And the other thing is, all these podcasts are usually, like I said earlier, they're pre-recorded. So if I talk about something that happened 3 weeks ago, it's because it happened when I made the podcast, which would make sense. So I really don't talk too much about current events because of that, other than football when football season's in. But if you at any time feel the need to reach out because you need help with something, please feel free to reach out. I know through an email. I've mentioned it. I've had a couple who's getting ready to have a baby, and they've requested a podcast, and I'm hoping it helped them. It's about having babies and how it changes everything. But remember, love your kids. Love your kids. They grow up too fast, and have that relationship. Just always like your family. Like who you are, love who you are, and keep being who you are. So this is Henrie, and thank you so much for listening. Until next week, go find your blessings.